In the United States, a person's net worth is a barometer of their financial standing, particularly as they approach retirement. You are welcome to Wealth Worth. If you are new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. This figure, calculated by subtracting liabilities from assets, varies considerably across the population, shaping the retirement lifestyle and economic security of millions. Finance expert and author Jeff Schmidt evaluates retiree wealth using the most recent data from the Federal Reserve Board's survey of consumer finances. Poor households in the 20th percentile, with a net worth of around $10,000, are categorized as poor. This group likely doesn't own a home and focuses financial resources on necessities. Middle class. The middle class is in the 50th percentile, with a median household net worth of $281,000 for Americans aged 65 and up. This typically includes home equity, savings, and a 401k account. Wealthy. To be considered well off, a person must be in the 90th percentile, possessing a household net worth of $1.9 million. This level of wealth affords trips, charity donations, and college funds for children. The 95th percentile, with a net worth of $3.2 million, is considered wealthy, facilitating estate planning and possibly owning multiple homes. The top 1%, or the 99th percentile, has a net worth of $16.7 million and represents the very wealthy, who enjoy considerable financial freedom and luxury. Average and median net worth by age: Americans aged 55 to 64. This group has an estimated average net worth of $1.18 million. This figure is significant as it represents people who are typically nearing the end of their working years and are at the peak of their wealth accumulation phase. Americans aged 65 to 74. This group has a higher average net worth than the 55 to 64 age group, at $1.22 million. The increase in average net worth for this age group is likely because of continued asset growth and possibly the beginning of drawing down retirement accounts. 75 and older. This demographic has an average net worth of $977,600, which is lower than the younger age groups. This decrease can be attributed to the fact that people in this age group are further into their retirement and may be drawing down their assets more significantly. Wealth perception in America. According to Schwab's 2023 Modern Wealth Survey, Americans perceive an average net worth of $2.2 million as wealthy. Knight Frank's research indicates that a net worth of $4.4 million is required to be in the top 1% in America, a figure much higher than in countries like Japan, the UK, and Australia. Economic class net worth. A growing number of Americans are entering retirement with debt. The proportion of households led by people aged 65 and older with debt increased from 38% in 1989 to 61% in 2016. CNBC reports debt among those aged 70 and up surged by 614% from 1999 to 2021, with mortgages constituting the majority of the debt. The importance of financial planning. Net worth at retirement age in the U.S. varies considerably and is shaped by elements such as homeownership, savings, and debt. While the middle class and wealthy often experience financial security, a notable segment of the population confronts economic difficulties. This disparity underscores the critical role of financial planning and management, including the valuable assistance of financial advisors, in ensuring a stable financial future throughout life. Becoming rich isn't easy, especially if you're starting from scratch and not getting an inheritance. It takes a lot of hard work, but as it turns out, it's almost just as hard to define what being rich is. If you're thinking, "Am I rich or merely really well off?" and you're stressing over that question, you aren't likely to get any sympathy from your family and friends, unless they are all rich, too. But if you're wondering how to define being wealthy, the question can be an interesting intellectual exercise. So if you're wondering if you're rich, there is a lot to consider. But if you're wondering how to define being wealthy, the question can be an interesting intellectual exercise. So if you're wondering if you're rich, there is a lot to consider. Rich versus wealthy. What's the difference between being rich and being wealthy? The words don't really mean the same thing, according to many personal finance experts. Still, everything is subjective with these terms. Most personal finance experts tend to equate wealth with financial freedom. Some experts think that you're wealthy if you don't have a lot of debt and you have enough income to do what you want. You could consider yourself wealthy even if you have a pretty low income. That's provided you have a decent amount of revenue stashed away in your savings account. You never really struggle to pay your bills, and you're able to spend pretty freely if there's something you want to buy. In that sense, you could be wealthy without being rich. Some personal finance experts say that being rich is a scenario in which you make a lot of money through your salary or investments. However, you may actually have so many debts weighing you down to the extent that your freedom to spend freely is somewhat curtailed. If that's the case, you're probably rich but not actually wealthy. Of course, for some people, there's no debate. Some people are rich, wealthy, and all of the other adjectives that describe having a lot of money. When you get to a certain stage of wealth where you have excess capital making more money than you will ever spend in your lifetime. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.